Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Samurai Jack, and Mike Tyson Mysteries, among others. I'm Justin Cummings, and today I'm joined by Michelle Anderer.
Hey.
Today, Michelle and I are finally discussing the last ever episode of Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
It's all over.
It's all over.
It's over, isn't it? Isn't it?
Oh my,
isn't
oh
it
my
over?
God. That's kind of what I was wondering, like, halfway through. I was like, oh wow, this is not what I expected. Okay.
This is not the episode anyone expected. I'm really not sure how to... I'm still a bit numb.
Yeah.
This was the first time I watched it live, so I actually watched it at 11 o'clock at night and not, in the middle of the day.
Like me.
Yeah, I was very tired, and I'm just sitting here. It's 11:30 at night. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What was that?
So you can find all of our podcasts at overlyanimated.com or search Overly Animated on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. Now back to the show.
Back to the show? What? I mean, we had talked and theorized for weeks and weeks about how this could end, and, like, a lot of the things we talked about happened, but, like, I don't feel good about it. Really.
I'm not mad. I like the episode.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was fine. I thought it moved me. I still enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed seeing the story end, and there are a lot of issues with it, but I don't think they take away enough that it sours my opinion of the whole series. Like, I don't like the episode on its own, I think, but it didn't ruin the show for me.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of standalone episodes that I really enjoyed, this season, and I would watch this show again. Like, I'm not, like, bitter, but, like, wow. I mean, I think part of the issue is also, like, especially for, like, the old fans, like, that have been waiting so long for a conclusion. Is this, like, the conclusion that they want, that they were, like, hoping for, you know? I mean, I really don't know.
However, it almost falls into, like, the Half-Life hype problem of, after 15 years, you know, can anything be what they wanted? You know,
yeah.
It's like Aku said, you know, after all this time, I never actually thought about how I'd end it. Like, after all this time, do Jack fans even know what would have been the, you know, quote-unquote proper ending? I'm not defending everything about this ending, because, dear God, there were some bad parts. But...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think... I think the ending would have been less... I think we'd be less critical if this season happened right after season 4.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't have a 12-year gap.
Honestly, though, I think maybe that's part of the reason it turned out the way it did, though, because it kind of felt like he was cramming, like, so many different things into one, 22-minute episode. And maybe that's part of the problem, because it felt a little fast in some points, and because it was so fast, it was hard for, like, the emotion to really hit home for me. At some of those points, it was clearly supposed to be more emotional. It's like, but, like, it's not, because it's so fast, and this feels very weird, and why did you decide to do it like that? So I don't know.
Let's attempt to go in order here. Start at the beginning of the episode, because I think that's the best way to handle this. Start at the beginning. We get Aku doing the narration of the old episodes.
Yeah! Wasn't that kind of the old intro?
That was the old intro.
Yeah, I was excited for that.
That to me might have been the highlight of the episode. Like, that says a lot about... I mean, it was a great moment. It was a great, cool, fourth wall breaking moment. Very Aku.
It was very Aku.
It was also very... I mean, it was ominous, right? It was Aku, like, rewriting history. It was Aku, like, broadcasting to the entire world. Like, it was a cool moment.
Everyone was tuning in, which
I don't know if they had a choice.
I was wondering that. Okay, that's one thing. Like, when all the different people are, like, getting together to, like, go help Samurai Jack, it occurred to me, so it's been 50 years. Hasn't Aku essentially taken over the planet? Like, how are all these, like, civilians, like, able to exist in their communities unburdened by, like, the ever-presence of Aku, like, terrorizing them? That seemed a little confusing to me.
I think Aku kind of, like, he lets little pockets exist. Maybe because without Jack, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't think they'll be organized enough without. Okay, because that's something I was wondering. Like, yo, like, why aren't they all in prison by now?
Without
and,
a sword, they're nothing.
Yeah, but he thought up until pretty recently that Jack still had a sword. So.
Yeah, but even if Jack has a sword, the others don't matter.
Oh, yeah. They did prove a good distraction, though, when it came down to the finale.
So we saw all of these great characters from past episodes coming back. We finally saw the Scotsman and all his daughters.
Yeah, that was great. I think the Scotsman's daughters are my favorite part of the episode.
Why? Because they're females who have some shred of agency left by the end?
Yes! That's exactly it!
They have no distinguishing characteristics. Maybe one letter to separate them from their sisters. They were like literally just auctioned off by their father almost to Jack, and they still had more agency than Ashi at the end.
I know, God, we're gonna get to that, but like, yeah.
Gendy, why?
Gendy, come on. I mean, I guess no one's perfect, but
like, you started so well.
You started so well. This is just, wow. And of all the ways to, like, get rid of her, like, that was the stupidest way ever. We'll talk about it, but, like, oh, man. You want me to get to it now?
No, we're waiting. Or I'm being good, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'll wait.
So we see Jack chained up to the wall.
Yeah, he's done. He gave up.
Aku finally going to kill him. He lets Ashi do it. This
might have been. He can't decide on a weapon, which I think is hilarious.
It's so Aku.
He goes through so many. He's just like, I just can't decide.
This might be my favorite Ashi part of the episode. Just the creepy stalking up to Jack. Like, we wanted more Aku-powered Ashi. This was it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I also like that they showed, like, her inner conflict. Like, that's, like, that representation of the struggle when she's, like, fighting the, like, Aku goop, like, makes you feel a lot more for her in that situation than just kind of her, like, being this, like, you know, expressionless monster. So, I really liked that.
Yeah, I definitely... my second least favorite part of the episode involves Jack also being in there with Ashi.
Oh my god, that was so bad!
I hate that line, but...
I was afraid they were gonna do it. I was afraid he was gonna be like, I love you, and that would be like all it takes for her to just, okay.
That line was awful, but the visual of Jack, like, pulling through, and just the way that one line was, like, waving back and forth as Jack was, like, pulling through the goop, like, that visual was incredible. Like, that was really cool.
Oh, it was really cool, but, like, oh, man. I feel like we've seen this before, you know? Like, the person's almost overcome or is dying, and then it's like, I love you, and it's like, bam! I'm good now.
It's almost a very... I feel like Steven Universe made fun of this at one point, because doesn't Steven make a line like, the power of love, or something like that?
It says the power to heal.
Does he say that?
Yeah, he does.
He's made some comment about love.
Yeah, probably. He talks about love a lot. Love's a big part of the show.
If nothing else, we have Connie, because you all love me. And we all love each other, so let's fix it with love.
I guess it really, you know, that happened here, though. He did fix it with love, or literally just saying it. I don't know. So, like, was Gendy going for, like, she has the confidence to, you know, turn the tides because she knows he loves her? And that's, like, what
even in the darkness, Michelle, even in the darkness, love is still there.
Yeah, but, like... She was having a real hard time, and just saying it, Okay.
So, the Scotsman rolls up, the fight starts.
He has a sick power, by the way, that actually, like, kind of messed with Aku the most.
Oh yeah. The ghostly bagpipes.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
So we see all the little Akus taking out a lot of our friends. The whole fight scene is kind of hectic and forgettable.
Hectic
Honest.
and forgettable. No,
Honest.
seriously. Yeah, like, you can see people were actually dying, but it wasn't, like, gruesome or anything, which I don't think it need to be, but yeah, it was kind of forgettable, because so much was going on at once.
The scene between Jack and the Scotsman, slightly misogynistic, like, ever so slight, like, enough to make me have a slight tinge,
weird.
But not enough that I'm like, I dislike these characters because of it. Because at the same time, it's like, these are friends who haven't seen each other in 50 years. Like, I can only be but so mad at this scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was, like, a weird choice by whoever decided to, like, put it in there. And, like, also, they were spending, like, a good minute listing all the names of the daughters and talking to each other in the middle of, like, this hectic scenario when he's supposed to be getting his sword. And it's like, what is this? This is not the time! You gotta focus! Your priorities, man! It was kind of funny, though. I like the gag of naming all the daughters.
That was funny.
Also, yeah.
And then we finally get... Okay, so let's just get to it.
Okay.
Jack gets swallowed in the darkness. Ashi's basically dead. Then we get the wonderful line, the wonderful, immortal line. Ashi, I love you!
Oh, God. And then, like, immediately transformation. Immediately she has 100% control over Aku's powers. It just... Oh, man. It felt so hard to, like, get excited about because it happened so fast.
I just want to point out... I just want to point out, we established last time that she had a connection to Aku.
Yeah,
this time, we see her using Aku essence. We see all of this stuff. She's the one that clearly beats off, like, even though Jack, like, inspired her. She's the one that beats off Aku's whatever, yet she still needs... I'm not usually a person to get all upset about mansplaining, but Jack mansplains to her she has Aku's power. She knows she has Aku's powers!
You can feel it, Max. She knows she came from him. He almost, like, overtook her body and mind. Like,
she's encoded in a layer of Aku. I think she's aware of the situation, Jack.
Seriously. Oh, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Because, like, I was talking before about how it was, like, bothering me about how, like, the aspect of the relationship where, like, Jack's this, like, super important, revered person, and she's just kind of, like, Aku's daughter, but that's it. Like, Ashi's been set up as, like, one of the most, like, powerful, capable, trained assassins, like, to ever exist in this world, right?
Except Jack.
Except Jack! But, like, it's like she's not, like, somehow she keeps, like, losing her agency, and Jack has to help her, you know, realize her own potential. And, like, why can't she just do that herself? Like, and that's the thing, because some people keep asking, like, well, like, if this wasn't a romance and they were just, like, really good friends, like, would we lose anything? No, I don't think we'd lose anything. I think we'd actually gain something. Because then it wouldn't be this dumb thing where it's like, oh, I love you, so now you can fight. It'd just be, like, mutual trust and understanding. Like, why can't we have that? Why is that so unappealing?
Yeah.
You're right, though. He did mansplain. No, it was really unnecessary.
I mean, as a male, there are times where I'm like, I don't know about this whole mansplaining thing. Like, I don't know where the line is between mansplaining and simply speaking words. Like, there are times where I'm like, are we sure, BuzzFeed? Are we sure that's what this is? This just clearly chalk it up in the mansplaining column. Like, this is...
Yes.
And it's, like, the most awkward... Like, why? It's not even like, it's so subtle you don't even know it's there because of your deep sexism. No, it's very apparent. Like, she doesn't need you to tell her. She's clearly using his powers.
She's been using it for the past, like, 2 episodes. She knows.
So she goes, oh yeah, and makes a time portal.
Yeah! Though I was really happy she, like, that was, like, she wasn't trying to murder her dad. She's like, okay, bye. Like, we have a portal now. And I loved that as the way they got out of the situation.
And then it gets overshadowed, but yeah, Jack finally beats... Yeah. He finally beats Aku.
And that didn't even feel that exciting. Like, did it feel that exciting to you? It felt like kind of like not the climax I kept expecting it to be. It really didn't.
It didn't feel as incredible as I thought it would. Because they wanted us to wait. And you knew as soon as he finished off Aku, because you're a time travel expert, Michelle, you knew immediately that if Aku doesn't exist, Ashi can't exist in the future.
Okay, we're gonna get to it. the stupidest thing about this episode. Why the hell did she not disappear immediately? Why did the show decide, let's wait until she's, like, literally gonna get married? She gets all dolled up. She's walking down the aisle, and then she collapses and disappears. Like, the only reason, Justin, the only reason they do that is to be like, let's make this as awful as humanly possible for the people who care about this character. Let's just twist that knife as much as we can before, you know, like, we have to finally, like, kill her off for real.
So,
because it makes no sense why she would not disappear immediately the second he was killed.
I think they went thematic over literal in this case, which, I mean, this show has always kind of been stylistic, but, yeah, it felt awkward.
No sense. It makes no sense. And that whole line about how, like, oh, I can feel him leaving my body. Okay, but, like, if that's true, like, how can you exist for, like, a couple more weeks and then just disappear at literally the most climactic, like, sad moment ever?
Couple
like,
weeks, girl. This was like an hour later, I'm betting.
Fell down in the middle of the aisle. Like, that's the most, like, obvious, awful, like, kind of manipulative thing.
No, it was the opening of Up is what that was.
It was so bad. No, but, like, the first 10 minutes of Up are, like, literally the best part of that movie. Like, they're pretty awesome. But
yes.
This didn't that. This felt artificial and very intentional in a way that didn't, like, feel earned.
No.
Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm so sad she's dead, but, like, wow, that was, like, so inspiring. I was like, that's, like, a huge F you to, like, everyone who likes Ashi. And, like, why did you do it this way? They didn't even have a conversation. Like, she's just like, I can't exist. And literally, that's it. She's gone forever. Bye. Like, wow. For trying so hard to build up that romance, like, over the course of the season. And, like, spending so much time, like, having Ashi, like, confront her mom and her dad and, like, getting her agency taken away and then back again and finding love for the first time, to just, like, dismiss her like that. That's, like, kind of the worst way they probably could have done it. Besides, like, Aku murdering her or something. Really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was not a fan. But I will admit, for as crappy as that was, the last scene of Jack sitting with the ladybug was pretty. It was a pretty calm scene. I enjoyed it.
Aesthetically pleasing, yes. Sure. It
was nice. Michelle, it was a nice moment.
Oh, man. Sure. I mean, that's okay. This is the thing. From a show that's kind of only concerned with Jack's perspective, like, this was a very satisfying ending. Like, he killed Aku, he got back to the past. Like, sure, like, millions of people from the future that he met and changed their lives or no longer exist, and the woman he loves is gone. Like, meeting all them taught him an important lesson about himself, and he'll remember them fondly, and it'll help shape him to be the person he is next. But, like, that's great, okay? But, like, again, like, that's also throwing away all those other people to be a plot thing for his development. And that was my fear, Justin. That was my fear with Ashi from the minute I thought they were gonna get together. That she'd be used, like, for him. And she kind of was.
Yeah, I think
that sucks.
I think we kind of took for granted that this show was TV-14 and on Adult Swim and all this, that it would ergo be a more mature storyline, because at first it was. Yeah. It really was.
Yeah. Mature doesn't have to mean, like, sexual or action-packed. It means, like, thoughtful and critical, and, you know, it's not like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not black and white.
You know.
Yeah.
It's over, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, though, like, Jack as a character wasn't black and white. Like, he had to deal with a lot of, like, tough moral questions in the season. And I think, like, a lot of the way they handled that was really well done. I just think at the expense of other characters having much of a characterization or, you know, amounting to much in a way that was significant, Jack was definitely the star of the show. And he was the one they cared the most about exploring.
Right.
But, I mean, it's just sad when you bring to life another character or two that people really like and care about and give them this beginning of a journey, and then you just kind of scrap them for the sake of your main character. So,
yeah.
I mean, I can appreciate where they were doing with Jack, and at the same time feel kind of bummed that it had to turn out this way, because I think it didn't have to, but this is what they decided to do.
It could have been great.
Oh my god, you and your SU quotes today.
Yeah.
It's true, though. It could have been great.
Let's hit those emails, and then let's do season wrap-up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what other people thought of this.
Alright, our first email is from our good friend, frequent commenter, Steve. Hello, Justin and Michelle. See, you even got to mention this time.
Hooray.
But do you have agency is the real question.
Oh god, we're not going down this.
When you think about it, I tell you what time we're recording.
Justin, oh man.
No, I'm kidding. If it doesn't work, you tell me in very blunt terms, no, we're doing it this time. No. So, it's finally over. After over 15 years, Samurai Jack has reached its conclusion. I don't know what to do now. Ironic, the Aku speech was to bring despair to everyone, but it inspired them to help Jack. I love all the callbacks and the Scotsman in all his glory. I love how in the middle of a battle to have a conversation with Jack, introduce his daughters, even trying to fix them up with Jack, all during the battle.
That was so ridiculous.
Everything just raging about. It was honestly really funny.
No, it was really funny.
And the battle was awesome. Everyone got their time to shine. Though seeing all of the Aku kill a lot of our friends was hard to watch. And I don't know about you, as much as I love Ashi, I was ready to rant about how she should not exist, and then they addressed it. It's so sad It's so sad what happened, and on his wedding day, I had a total Gurren Lagann flashback. It is the ending of Gurren Lagann all over again. Not only did Jack lose Ashi, I'm guessing all of Jack's friendship he developed are gone, because the events had never happened in the new continuity. But this is the best part. I suppose Jack knew what would happen.
Yeah.
Like, was Jack prepared for this?
I guess. I mean...
I don't think we ever talked about this. That would have been a fun thing to talk about. Instead of giving us the, I love you, or any of the shower scenes, or any of those.
Seriously.
Instead of a kiss, take that time and just have a quick moment of, like, Spirit Jack, if you go back and kill Aku, all your friends will have never existed.
That's like a more pivotal, like, concern, you'd imagine. Or even, like, when he had that one conversation with Ashi about, like, his childhood, do you think they would have addressed the fact that, like, if I go back, you won't exist, you want to talk about that, and what you think of that? I think if we'd gotten that when she disappeared, like, it would have made so much more of an impact, because then, like, they would have known this would have happened, they would have been ready, and just wanted to make the most of their time, which I guess, like, is kind of implied, but it's like the whole show don't tell thing. Like, you can't imply so much that you don't get an impact from it, because you have to imagine that's what they were going for the whole time. That's a good point.
Anywho, great end to this great series. It was an end to this great series.
It was an end. It was a end.
I will call it a satisfying end. I wouldn't call it great. I'm sated. I'm not ecstatic, but I'm sated. It's okay. I'm not too upset. Anywho, I wonder what you guys are going to do next in your Samurai Jack coverage. We will get to that after our season wrap-up, I believe. If that's alright with you, Michelle. Because we are planned to continue this train of thought. We have 2 things coming out of this, don't worry. Next email is from Andy. Hey, Justin and Michelle.
This is a great day. Man, this must be a low bar for this to be so exciting, but I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Michelle has passed Ashi in terms of agency and relevancy.
You're not going to compare me to a fictional character. That's too weird.
Alright, fine. Michelle versus Tara Strong.
Oh, okay.
The finale was a disjointed bullet list of events, so I thought I'd reply in kind. Bullet point 1. Danny predicted every single thing we could have possibly disliked and made it the ending. I don't know how...
I love this! Oh!
I don't know how this happened. It all just feels cobbled together. Ashi dies, Ashi loses agency, pretty much everyone dies, and Jack is kinda useless, honestly. We don't even get a cool fight, it's just a nostalgia trip with a bunch of red shirts showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, where's the lie, though?
Bullet point 2. Ashi can only overcome Aku's power once Jack tells her he loves her.
God, I know that's so stupid! She's one of the most powerful people in the show!
Is this how we're sending off the coolest character of the miniseries? With a complete loss of agency?
Yeah, and then straight up, Yeah.
Bullet point 3. Ashi, you have Aku's powers! Gasp! I do?
Oh
Worst
my
line
God.
of the entire series right there. She's already using his powers. Why does it need to be said by the character not using them?
So true.
Not to mention the loss of agency. I feel like a broken record. Bullet point 4.
So amazing.
At the least, Aku was perfect. He streamed his own intro and it was amazing. That might have been the best fourth wall break in animation history. I'll counter that, Andy, in a second. Also, Aku monologuing after he sends Jack to the future is so Aku it hurts.
Yeah, no, really.
You're alone, man. No one's even there to appreciate your evil speech. Bullet point 5, how did Ashi not disappear the second they killed Aku?
Exactly! That would have made the most sense.
Why did she wait arbitrarily for the day of their wedding? I think something was lost in translation somewhere.
So
a writer said, hey,
so clunky.
Wouldn't it be cool if we killed Ashi with a time paradox? And then everyone agreed, but didn't really think about it anymore after that.
Yeah.
Final bullet point. Thanks, Michelle and Justin. It's been fun going back through the show with you guys. Now I'm gonna go watch the fight scene from episode 9 and pretend the finale never happened.
Oh my god, I'm I agree with everything that was just brought up though, for real.
And we have one more email, also from Andy. This one's called Samurai Jack Addendum.
Okay.
In bold, fuck the romance.
Yes. Woo! Can that be the hashtag for this episode?
Hashtag fuck the romance.
Fuck
you heard
the
it here
romance!
first. Fuck the romance! Now as a counter, Andy, as far as best fourth wall break, that goes to Chowder. There's an episode of Chowder where they spend all the money. And Monk's screaming, he's like, you know what's gonna happen? The guy's like, your wife's gonna kill you? No, worse! What could be worse than that? No money means no animation! And it cuts, and it shows all the actors just sitting in the room, reading their lines.
About this. I haven't seen much of Chatter, but I've heard about this.
And then they all go out, and they host a car wash.
Yes!
That is the best fourth wall break in animation history, because it's out of nowhere, and it is so committed to everything. You can't top it. It's so great. You can't top it. Good. You get to see just Tara Strong sitting there. It's wonderful. I forget what Tara Strong looks like sometimes, because I see her live action so rarely. I have seen her in Big Time Rush, and I think that's it.
She's, very beautiful and has long blonde hair. She's doing good.
Yes, she's a beautiful woman, with more agency than Ashi.
Everyone who's alive probably has. Man, oh.
Coma patients.
Oh, Ashi.
Coma patients are alive with less agency than Ashi. Think about it. Everyone has to make decisions for them.
I just, it's too sad to, think about too much, you know? It just happened. It's still too soon to joke about.
Too soon.
It's too soon.
Alright, so let's have our season wrap up, Michelle.
Okay.
Now that you've seen all of it, give me your overall score of season 5. It can be 1 through 10, F through A, whatever score you want to use. How do you rate this season as a whole?
Oh, man. I mean, could I just divide it into, the dumb plot stuff that sucked and all the beautiful music and animation and art concepts into a separate category?
Sure, but don't forget there's also great plot.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess on a A to F scale, I give it a 83.
I was gonna say a B minus too.
Yeah,
that's what I give this. A B minus. Yeah.
That's not bad. That's above average.
When I get that on a test, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, B minus. So, do you think you will rewatch this season anytime soon?
I might go back to the first, 7 episodes. I mean, there are some really standout moments I just, really love how they look and, how they work thematically, that I could watch, over and over and over again. And I'd like to go back and just see, the early, Rugged Jack just for comparison now.
Let's still give episode 3 an Emmy, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I thought that was so good. But, I mean, I could do without the last 3 episodes watching, ever again.
So, Toonami next week on Saturday, they will be airing the entire season again in a marathon from 11 p.m. till 4 a.m.
You can catch up then.
Yeah. Do you want to start watching that, duck out around 2:30?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Solid ending, go to sleep, great time. All in all, I thought it was... Because the first half of the season is truly amazing stuff. Like, if I was just rating 1 through 6, A+.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was just really, really good. And then it slowly just started dipping down, and I'm like, eh. Like, individual episodes, like 10, I'd probably give a C-, maybe a D+.
I think C- is fair. It wasn't awful, but it really wasn't up to par with some of the earlier ones.
So it's those last 3 that really, and even especially the last 2.
Yeah.
No, parts of 9, parts of 8, and
parts
most
of
really
10. Awful. Yeah, and most of 10.
Just drag it down. But all in all, I still enjoyed it. I'm glad we did this. I'm very glad we did this.
No, I am too. This was a really good experiment for us.
And it's not over yet, Michelle. I think it's time we tell the fans what's happening.
Okay.
Steve asked what we're doing next. Next week, Michelle and I will be back. We will be covering season 1 of Samurai Jack. We're going to go back this week. We're going to watch 1 through 13, get caught up relatively on that season, do our opinion on that one. And then the week after, we'll do season 2, and then 3, and then 4. And then I think maybe after that, we'll do one big, series retrospective.
Once we've seen it all.
Yeah, once we've seen everything, and we can truly make a sweeping statement like that. So that's what Michelle and I have coming up on the Samurai Jack front. But on the Adult Swim front, we're not done either. At the beginning of this episode, I mentioned one of our new shows we're covering is Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Which sounds amazing, honestly.
Last week, on Mother's Day, was the season 3 premiere. So this week, probably tomorrow, Michelle, Andy, and myself will all be covering the first 2 episodes of season 3. We're going to do this new Powerpuff Girls style. We're going to do a podcast every 2 episodes. If you haven't seen the show, imagine Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest, and a TV 14 rating, and just let the fun fly. And it's interesting. It's about Mike Tyson solving mysteries with a ghost, a pigeon played by Norm Macdonald, and his foster daughter who's Asian.
This is how he pitched it to me too.
It is, because that's the best way to pitch it, because it's so
It is
good.
the best way. You immediately you're like, oh, this just sounds really awful or amazing. I have to find out.
It's amazing. There was an episode in season 2 where Mike thought there were no mysteries left in the world. It turned out all their jobs were being stolen by a new rival mystery team led by Snoop Dogg.
No.
The show is great. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't know season 3 was happening. I just found out it aired. I've already seen the first episode of the season. Second one airs shortly after we record this. Andy was gracious enough to binge the whole show in a day.
The whole show? 2 seasons?
Well, they're 11-minute episodes.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Hence why we're doing 2 a podcast.
Yeah.
But, I think there's 30 episodes right now.
Okay, that's not...
So nothing crazy.
It's about total drama levels of pinching for me, so I understand.
Well, that's 30 episodes, 11 minutes each. That's 15 episodes. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And it's one of those kind of turn your brain off kind of shows and just enjoy what's happening.
Oh, good. I'm excited for that.
You're gonna love it. That's gonna be a swearing aloud... random. It's a TV 14 show. You can swear, Michelle.
Yay. I wonder if Andy swears. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out if Andy knows bad words. Norm Macdonald swears in the show. I'll tell you that much. It's wonderful. So it's gonna be a hoot and a half. It's gonna be very different from anything else we cover here at Overly Animated. I'm surprised Dylan let me do it. So that's what's coming up. We have Mike Tyson Mysteries. We have more Samurai Jack coverage. Steven Universe Wanted is coming up very shortly.
Oh god, the hype for that is so real.
So to get you guys filled in, since Stuck Together is already out, officially even I think through Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it was official.
Michelle and I will be reviewing Stuck Together very shortly, and then we will kind of play it by ear if the episodes come out before their TV airing. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll see you all Memorial Day for our Wanted coverage. 1 hour special, Michelle.
I'm really excited. You saw that promo. It's gonna be crazy.
I saw that promo.
Oh, man.
And we will talk about the promo at the end of the Stuck Together episode if you want.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you guys so much. It's been a heck of a season. Michelle, we did it. We covered a show together.
We did it. We survived.
This was great. This
actually was like a really fun show, though, honestly. Despite everything.
It was a good time.
It was quality, yeah.
Alright, thank you guys so much. You can find all the info on this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can support us via Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you so much to all our current patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Jamie, aka Mailman, and thanks as always to our Patreon executive producers, John, Ryan, Steve, and Alex. And thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.